First, we would like to thank Mrs. Ryman for being here today to share her story with us. How old were you when you first started experiencing panic attacks?
My first panic attack, I was 31, almost 32 years old.
What triggered the panic attacks?
When I gave birth to my first child, I was in the hospital and the doctors put the epidural up too high, so it actually paralyzed my diaphragm, and so I wasn't able to breathe or talk or ask for help. And again, I was experiencing birth for the first time, and I heard the doctor say, okay Marty, just hold on, and everything went black.
How did panic attacks feel for you?
I didn't experience them straight away after my daughter was born. I guess it was like a couple months after she was born, and all of a sudden I would feel almost like there was like a hand in my chest, like holding my heart, or like pushing down on my chest, and I couldn't catch my breath. And I think it was because I knew what it felt like to not breathe, and so my panic attacks manifested themselves in me not being able to catch my breath.
How did you handle your panic attacks? What worked for you?
I did have to go to therapy to figure out how to work through them. I think lots of times when you have a panic attack, you think maybe it's an issue, a larger issue. I thought, am I having a heart attack? I thought maybe I'm overtired, like I couldn't figure out what was happening because I'd never had them before. I also felt weak and pathetic, embarrassed to ask for help. Like, I should be able to handle my stuff. I'm a 30-something-year-old woman, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, like I should be confident. So the first thing I had to do was be brave enough to ask for help, and be brave enough to admit that something was wrong. And so I started seeing a life coach who talked to me about kind of the idea of being aware of a panic attack, because lots of times when you have them, I think you try to think in your head like, this is not happening, this can't happen, this can't happen. You try to push it down, and that makes it worse. So what I actually had to do was like feel it coming on and accept the fact that it was going to happen. And I had to be ready to feel all these emotions. So what I figured out worked for me is I love animals, and I also love cool air. So if I was at home and I was having a panic attack, I would turn my fan on and I would pet my dog and just wait for it to pass. If I was at school, which I was always scared of having one in front of the kids, and I didn't want my kids to be upset. So, and my students will still notice today that there's a fan in every room that I teach in. And that's so if I start to feel a little nervous or hot or feel like it's coming, I'll turn on the fan in the room and the cool air will calm me down. So that's what works for me.